The Intergovernmental Authority on Development Parliamentary Caucus Network officially launched with the objective to promoting peace, development, and regional integration. The launch of the network was announced at the high-level regional legislator meeting in Finfinne. The 3 days high-level regional legislator meeting brought together legislators from Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, and Uganda. The meeting, organized by IGAD Centre of Excellence for Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism (PCVE), with the support of Sweden government, aims at advancing conversation on how to successfully achieve gender-sensitive legislations and to officially launch the IGAD Legislators Network. This regional meeting would provide a platform for the legislator to advance conversations on ensuring gender equality and push gender-sensitive PCVE legislations. The newly launched network is expected to champion peace, security, development, and integration in the region, as was indicated. The meeting is pivotal to have an IGAD Parliamentary Caucus Network, which will ensure the champion peace and stability in the region. On the opening session of the event, it was said that IGAD's commitment to support legislators in their critical roles are the link between the people and the government, fostering peace and stability across the region.
First, I want to welcome you, honorable members, to this very special session. I'm happy to see you because we have had a journey together. From Mombasa, Entebbe, and now Addis. I think it almost sounds like something we can rhyme, a rhyme, Mombasa, Entebbe, and now Addis. But the beauty about the journey that we have had together is the discussions we have had. The discussions that we have looked at together, not only looking at how do we mainstream gender in our fight against violent extremism and terrorism, but also how do we engage as members of parliament in search for peace and stability for our region. That has been what I could call the passion that you have all engaged in. So I want to start by passing greetings and regards from Dr. Wakane Gebeyu, the IGAD Executive Secretary, who really wished to be with us, but he couldn't, and who really invited us to this occasion, but he could not be able to be with us because he is involved in search for peace and stability for our region, and therefore he has asked me to pass his apologies, but his clear message for us, because he served as member of parliament like yourselves in this country, Ethiopia. He has done a lot in Ethiopia as the Inspector General of Police. He served also as Minister of Transport. He served also as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the IGAD Council of Ministers. But more importantly, he is also a politician, like you who are seated here. So he has asked me to pass a message to you and ask you to continue being active in search for peace and stability for this region, because we are really in a challenging time for the region. I don't think this region has really ever gone through a challenging time as we are now.
The works against violent extremism is the global threat to the security, and Sweden is playing a pivotal role in supporting IGAD in order to stabilize the region as well as economically empowering it.
several countries. I counted 6, I think, when I walked around saying good morning. Honorable Director, Dr. Simon, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, à vos titres et qualités respectifs. It's a great pleasure and an honor for me to meet you this morning. And as Simon already said, Sweden is a keen supporter of IGAD as an organization and the countries in the region. It's part of our engagement for peace and security in the region, for sustainable development, for regional integration. We've been a keen supporter, both financially and morally, of the Center to Counter and Prevent Violent Extremism, and we find this work to be increasingly important. It's both part of our analysis of development, the needs for development on the African continent, is also the quest for peace and security, to have stability, to be able to develop. But it's also part of our self-interest as a small international oriented nation to have stability and to counter and prevent extremism in all its forms. We see this as a global phenomenon that is a quest for every country. And actually Sweden just launched a new national strategy to counter violent extremism at home this January 2024. So this is really something that we are in together as human beings, as politicians, as experts of development. We also noticed in the recent AU summit how these issues and these topics are very high on the agenda for the continent, and we are happy to see that IGAD is doing its part as part of the African Union as well. Our work is based on global values. It's a question of human rights, it's a question of gender equality, it's a question of democracy, and it's a question of being able to fulfill your dreams. I want to applaud you, I want to acknowledge your work that you've been doing so far. You are all very important people in your societies, in your political systems, and I wish you all the best for this 3 days.
The platform that have been implemented by IGAD has been playing paramount role to consistently integrate the region in all aspects.
Excellencies, representing our legislator, I wanted to thank and admire IGAD for taking the timely issue of violent extremism a threat to all and especially our region to be included in policies, strategies taking gender and women into consideration by involving IGAD legislators. Our organization IGAD gives us a big arm by organizing a country's forum of legislators from all our regional countries, which provided clearly a strategy to member countries and plans to work together, united as ever on this serious threat of the region. The IGAD MPs, based on the researches that have been conducted, reviewed the content of the strategic documents as well as the recent implementation in our IGAD members gave us ensuring valuable gender perspectives inclusion. This helps our countries work united practically to the end of planning the adoption of the IGAD new PCVE strategy and policy in the near time to come. This clearly shows the great commitment, efforts, and the success of our regional holistic unity organization, as well as all are aware of PCVE condition and its recent situation all over our region, working united with commitment on the issues. The legislators' involvement in the discussion in this timely issue shows deep awareness as MPs are prime actors in preparing, approving budgets, laws, policies, and strategies to follow up the actual condition of the implementation. PCVE recent development based on religion, culture, ideologies, borders are consistently working as well as focusing on technological developments and other strategic networks. Currently, as legislators, Ethiopia is applying a strong gender policy in all regional councils and national parliaments, as well as throughout government institutions, as well as in all security structures. The participation of women is far better than the previous. As we all know, Ethiopia's involvement in countering terrorism, united with serious sisterly regional countries ever before a strong heart. However, evaluation of inclusion of PCVE in all policies as planned by IGAD is also over serious concern that we are committed and plan to work on it according to the IGAD policy and the strategy guidances.
The meeting is critical to ensure that gender perspectives are integrated in all security-related legislations being developed and reviewed, as well as strengthen cooperation between legislators in the region.
So this meeting generally, it has been a journey, bringing together members of parliament, and we started, it's 3 in a series. We started in Mombasa. From Mombasa we went to Entebbe, and now we are in the beautiful city of Addis Ababa, the capital city of Africa. And generally what we have been discussing with members of parliament is how they can play an active role to ensure that our region is peaceful and secure. As you know, members of parliament play a critical role in terms of allocating resources, and these resources go into different aspects. These resources are the ones that support security agencies, be they military, be they police, be they intelligence, and therefore the members of parliament allocate these resources to help these agencies to deal with the threat that we all face. The second thing is that the members of parliament also allocate resources to areas that really could be categorized as drivers to violent extremism. Issues of poverty, issues of unemployment, issues of education. So members of parliament, we are discussing how do they allocate resources to areas that can help us deal with unemployment of the young people. As you know, within this region, almost every country within this region is facing unemployment. We have huge numbers of youth. We have to think, how do we get them opportunities so that they can earn a living? Also, we have to think, how do we educate our people? And not just education, but education that is help them to be critical and analyze things and be able to think critically. So this is one of the reasons also we are bringing members of parliament. And also members of parliament, you know, they play a critical role as an oversight body that oversights security agencies so that they are able to operate within the rule of law and respect for human rights. So that's where we are here, and more importantly also is how do we mainstream gender within the legal framework and ensure that the framework that we put in place, the legal framework we put in place, is gender sensitive.
The role of legislators is critical in allocating the available resource and attaining the intended goal.
The purpose of this meeting is that we are able to bring members of parliament and be able to have a discussion, share experiences, and be able to know what role can they play to ensure that this region is safe and secure. We need the voices of members of parliament. That use of members of parliament are the people's representatives. They are with the people. And therefore, as they work with the people, how do they ensure that the people are safe and secure? So that's what we are discussing with the members of parliament.
The strategies that the IGAD member countries have been implementing are very suitable and achievable to mobilize the citizen.
The strategy is a very comprehensive strategy, gives things that need to be put in place. So we have as IGAD, we have put in a very comprehensive strategy. We are very happy with our member states that they have also been able to put within their own domestic environment, been able to put in strategies, legal frameworks that are able to help the citizens and mobilize the citizens to fight violent extremism and terrorism. So we have a comprehensive strategy and we are happy with the progress.
The challenges of the resources are the main obstacle for IGAD in order to combat the movement of violence and extremism.
One of the biggest challenges we have is a challenge of resources. As you know, fighting terrorism and violent extremism is a very expensive adventure. And therefore, we continuously are looking for resources, and we are happy that both our member states continue to support us. We have very good partners. As we see, we were here courtesy of the Swedish government, SIDA. And so we are very proud of the partners that have continued to partner with us in dealing with this threat. I think one thing that we must do is that we must ensure that we encourage each other, member states, partners, everybody, to support, share experiences, share information. Sharing information is totally critical, that we must share information so that we are able to deal with this threat. Sharing information is the most important thing. As you know, Ethiopia is a critical member and a founding member of IGAD, a founding member of Africa Union, and therefore the role of Ethiopia you cannot overemphasize, and we are happy with the leadership and the leadership of Ethiopia and the way the Ethiopia has continued to play an active role in ensuring that our region is safe and secure. So we commend the leadership of Ethiopia under the Prime Minister Abiy, that they have continued to play active and support IGAD in all its efforts in trying to bring peace and stability within the region.
In order to minimize the rampant extremism ideology, the member countries, IGAD as an institution, and the people of the region should work against bad ideology of violence and extremism.
To capacitate our government, we capacitate our non-state actors, civil society organization, youth organization, because what we have seen is with weapons, with military, with traditional military way, we could not defeat terrorism and violent extremism. We try to go for the soft power capability. We try to go for the ideology. How can we counter the ideology of extremists? The only way we can defeat them is by ideology, by developing counter narratives and supporting civil society organizations, religious leaders, youth, even teachers. That is the only way we can defeat terrorism and violent extremism. It has been more than 15 years now. We are fighting them with gun. What we have realized, a weapon, you know, a bullet can kill a person, but it cannot kill his ideology. So the only way to kill the ideology is through another ideology. We have to counter that ideology. That's what we do as IGAD. We also support our member state to come up with legislations. We look where there are gaps, you know, and then also we try to bring our efforts together, because this is a regional problem. This is not a problem for one particular country, you know. We are interlinked. We have people living on different sides of the border. So that's why the center has been created. This center has been created for sharing experience, for sharing know-hows, and also bringing expertise together. So by coming together, by creating a critical movement of people, you know, of practitioners, we can defeat or we can resolve the issue of violent extremism and terrorism in the IGAD region.
Through mobilizing all stakeholders in the region, massive works have been underway to fight against terrorism and extremism.
From that regional strategy, we supported our member state to develop national PCVE strategy, meaning we brought all stakeholders within a country in one table so that they discuss the issue of terrorism and violent extremism internally and thoroughly, frankly. We brought together civil society and government officials to discuss the issue of violent extremism. It is not alone a problem of government. It is a problem of the whole society. So it is a collective effort. That is how we created a kind of dialogue between the government and the civil society. It is no more a security issue. It is a whole government issue. You know, that's why we call it a whole government approach. We use a whole society approach where every stakeholder of the society matter, from civil society organization in rural areas, you know, youth in rural areas, and those in big cities. So that is the whole problems affecting everyone. The only way we can defeat it is by coming together, by also counting on support from non-IGAD member states for technical financial support, but at the same time counting on our member state also by adopting laws, legislations that reprimand terrorism and violent extremism, but also by giving opportunities for young people to get employment. That is the root causes of our issues, where we have a larger younger population without a job, and they are easy target for violent extremist and terrorist group recruitment. So,
what is expected from media as well?
Media play an important role, because media, you know, is the mirror. Media can be a very conveying messenger. You know, the voices media matter because people listen. The way the media frame the message, the way they talk about it is very important, because most of our people use radios and also televisions. The way the media talks about that issue will help, you know, it will reach a broader audiences, you know, identifying the problems, the gaps, discussing the issue frankly without any censorship, without any barrier. So the role of media is very important, because they can frame the message. They are a very important messenger when it comes to reaching a large audience. Media can reach any audiences, you know, in any part of the world. Any part of the world they can reach.
The homogenic population of the region should play an important role in order to secure peace and stability, as well as intensifying the development arena of the region.
I think we have a very large population in this region. This is a very homogenetic region with Christians, Muslims, you know, any other religions. I think we need to come together to fight this issue of violent extremism. It is not a problem that is coming from outside. It is a problem that is coming within our societies. It is a disease that we need to get a care for. The bullet is not a solution. Weapon is not a solution. I think we need to use soft power approaches to fight and defeat violent extremism in this region. One important thing is creation of jobs, creation of employment, creation of opportunities for our young people. That is the only way, by educating them, that is the only way we can also defeat extremist ideologies.